Hello. Good morning. Good morning and welcome to the Fraternal Order of Sequestered Mystics. I don't know if I've just turned on or not. My thing just did a thing, as we say. Anyway, welcome to the second morning of the reading of the Chicken Qabalah of Rabbi Lamed Ben Clifford. And I think yesterday I omitted to do very important things just prior to it. And I'm going to read a little bit of the front material just so that we know exactly what this piece of literature is. The title is The Chicken Qabalah of Rabbi Lamed Ben Clifford, a dilettante's guide to what you do and do not need to know to become a Kabbalist, by Lon Milo DuQuette, Wiser Books, Boston. And it was first published in 2001. So that's that. Now, because this book has so many footnotes, and the footnotes sometimes or often are better than the text. So it's going to be hard to jump back and forth to the footnotes and everything. So sometimes when it's convenient, I'm going to read a footnote first, and you'll guess where it comes in. But this is a footnote to chapter 1, which we're going to read right now. It says, the rabbis, and it concerns the idea of correct Hebrew pronunciation. The rabbi's dogmatic attitude concerning the pronunciation of Hebrew words made him the target of ridicule from nearly all quarters of the Kabbalistic community. Depending on the dialect, there are, of course, many correct ways to pronounce Hebrew words. However, the point I believe Rabbi Ben Clifford was trying to make is that, so far as the study of Kabbalah is concerned, pronunciation is ultimately irrelevant. Arguing it is a waste of precious time. By assuming this cavalier attitude, the Chicken Kabbalist enjoys an exhilarating level of spiritual freedom to pursue the more important aspects of the work. And now we turn to chapter 1. Frequently asked questions about Chicken Qabalah. And it has an epigram, a quote from Rabbi Ben Clifford. We are Kabbalists not to prove the Bible is holy. We are Kabbalists because everything is holy. And that was by Rabbi Lamed Ben Clifford. But this introduction is by me, Lon DuQuette. Without doubt, the first question people ask Rabbi Lamed Ben Clifford concerned his choice of the word chicken to describe his brand of Kabbalistic study and practice. It is clear to me, after reviewing scores of letters on the subject, that he delighted in giving a different answer to every individual who asked, why do you call it Chicken Qabalah? Indeed, for this reason, I had altogether given up the idea of including any of them in the frequently asked questions chapter. Then, shortly before returning the last draft of the manuscript to my publisher, I received a telephone call from one of the rabbi's students living in New York City. She was a wealth of information and happily corroborated the following story, which was part of a 1987 letter to a Jamaican disciple. Why do I call it Chicken Qabalah? Actually, the term Chicken Qabalah issued from the mouth of an arrogant and hateful old man who attended my New York City you can forget 90% of what you think you know about the Qabalah seminar. After my talk, he approached me, so obviously infuriated that he could hardly speak. He said, "Sir, you speak blasphemy. You are no Kabbalist. You don't even pronounce the word correctly. It is Qabalah, Qabalah. What you teach is not Qabalah. It is. The poor man's face turned bright red, and his whole body began to shake as he searched his mind for a word foul enough to describe my work. It is chicken Qabalah. It was instantly obvious to everyone in the room that he was painfully embarrassed at the ill-chosen and infantile words that blurted mindlessly out of his mouth. People started to chuckle. He then became so flustered that he spat upon the floor and said, "You and your teachings merit only spit. Spit." Excuse me, I chew the scenery. And then I spit. Then he stormed out of the hall. Now I have to pause here and tell you that pretty much that story is absolutely true, and it happened to me after one of my book launches for the Tarot of Ceremonial Magic. It happened at the Bodhi Tree bookstore where I was holding the book launch in Hollywood. And a guy came up to me just like that, and he winced every time I mispronounced the Hebrew word, and he winced every time. That actually happened to me, so it was okay, that's all. Now I'm going back into the book, and this is the rabbi's letter. As I am vowed to interpret every phenomenon as a direct communication from God to my soul, I recognize this awful, slobbering man as an angel of the Lord, sent to reveal to me the name of the spiritual science that would forever cling to my name. That night in meditation, I examined his message Kabbalistically. The word for phlegm or spittle in Hebrew is spelled Kaf Yud Chet, K-I kind of C-H. And the word for merit is spelled Nun He, N-E. To my great joy, the phrase merit spit enumerates to the number 93, the holiest of numbers, or one of the holiest of numbers. The number 93 relates not only to the divine concepts of love and will, but also to the great secret word by which we triumph over death. I then looked down at my notes to discover that the very same letters, arranged in the very same order, rendered in English the characters of the word chicken, or C-H-I-K-E-N. I cannot say that I actually believe, this is Lon DuQuette commenting again. I cannot say that I actually believe the above story. It might have some basis in fact, but like most of the rabbi's stories, it's probably pure fiction, or as he would say, a holy whopper. As we will soon see, however, the lies of Rabbi Lamed ben Clifford can contain some very great truths. The list of questions and answers below was not compiled by Ben Clifford. I compiled it with the kind help of his secretary and magical son, Gizmo bin Lamed, from nearly 6 years of the rabbi's personal correspondence with disciples and detractors. So, here are the frequently asked questions. What is Chicken Qabalah? Chicken Qabalah is the deceptively self-effacing term given to those aspects of the Holy Hebrew Qabalah that are of practical value to practitioners of the Western Hermetic spiritual traditions, while giving the most profound respect to individuals and institutions that teach the rich parochial traditions of speculative Kabbalah. Chicken Kabbalah and chicken Kabbalists, like students of Zen, focus pragmatically on the mind-transcending techniques of the art. Who are chicken Kabbalists or Kabbalists? It doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. You're a chicken Kabbalist. Who are chicken Kabbalists? Anybody can be a chicken Kabbalist. But at this point in history, most are students of tarot, psychology, astrology, ceremonial magic, Rosicrucianism, alchemy, mystic Freemasonry, or witchcraft. Is chicken Kabbalah real Kabbalah? Hell yes. Don't worry about it. And don't let anyone tell you otherwise. So-called orthodox Kabbalists are only other people's chicken Kabbalists that have been around for a long time. Is there a correct way to spell Kabbalah? The word Kabbalah? Hell no. You're a chicken Kabbalist. Don't worry about it. Qabalah with a C, Kabbalah with a K and 2 B's, Kabbalah with a Q-U-A, B-B-B-A-L-L-H, C-A-Q-U-B-A-L. They're all wrong. So, they may as well all be right. We'll talk about that more when you're a little more familiar with the Hebrew alphabet. Is it hard to become a chicken Kabbalist? Hell no, don't worry about it. But if you feel you need some external validation, sign this. Now, I put one of those, I posted it on Facebook yesterday. You can find your membership card. You can print it out and sign it. The rabbi's non-corporeal signature will appear on it. But if you feel you need some external validation, sign this, cut it out and put it in your wallet. No need to send in an application or pay any dues. If the omniscient deity really exists, it will surely recognize your bold act of spiritual audacity. There. You're now a full-fledged chicken Kabbalist. Now, the first thing you need to learn is that everyone's Kabbalah is uniquely their own. Your Kabbalah is not my Kabbalah or anyone else's. A personal Kabbalah is placed in your hands the moment you take up the study. It's alive and grows upon what you feed it. The more you learn, the more you use. No two students study or work the same. For example, I know people who have studied most, if not all, the classic texts. They know their Hebrew backward and forward, and a whole poop load of the traditional correspondences. They can twist and abuse numbers and letters all night long and send you out the door screaming with their nonstop raving. They can manipulate your address and phone number to prove you're the Antichrist and that your real name is Rumpelstiltskin. However, all that doesn't necessarily mean that they're using that knowledge to do anything other than bore their friends to death. On the other hand, you might be inclined to learn and use only one or two Kabbalistic tricks of the trade. That's fine. Used every day with tenacity and skill, even the most elementary exercises can drive you crazy just as fast as the complex and exotic operations, maybe faster. Don't worry about it. Do I need to be Jewish? Hell no, you're a chicken Kabbalist. Don't worry about it. You don't need to be born anything, believe anything, or belong to any religion, cult, order, or political party. You don't need to believe in the Hebrew God or Moses or the great goddess or Jesus or L. Ron Hubbard or Muhammad or any other savior, prophet, or salesperson. You don't even need a faithful heart and an open mind. The brain-warping power of Kabbalistic thought will soon make all those things irrelevant. Will I need to learn the Hebrew language? Yes, that's what I'm going to say. Hell no, you're a chicken Kabbalist. Don't worry about it. You don't have to learn to speak Hebrew, but you will have to recognize, you will have to recognize and be able to write the 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet. You will also have to know the meanings and the numerical values of each Hebrew letter. There's no escaping this part of your education. And all of those charts are in this book, and I make references to them. Eventually, as you study and work with the alphabet, you'll become familiar with various Hebrew words that are important to the system. Soon, if your studies take you in that direction, you'll be able to recognize these words in the original Hebrew texts. This skill is very impressive to friends and relatives who always thought you were stupid and unspiritual. Best of all, it'll make them feel guilty and have agonizing doubts about their own religious beliefs because they can't read their own scriptures in the original tongue. Go ahead, rub it in. Being a chicken Kabbalist is fun. Won't I be intimidated by serious Jewish Kabbalists and others who speak Hebrew? Hell no, you're a chicken Kabbalist. Don't worry about it. The first liberating secret chicken Kabbalists learn is that, as far as the Qabalah is concerned, there is no such thing as correct Hebrew pronunciation. Yep, that's right. No matter how you pronounce the various words in the system, some snob is sure to pop up, especially in public, to correct you. Remember that Hebrew as a spoken language is relatively young. Sure, there are those who speak Yiddish, or Judismo, or Sephardic, or Ashkenazic, and a score of other regional and ethnic dialects. There are correct ways to pronounce these dialects. But nobody, I repeat, nobody, knows for sure what the sacred language of the ancient Hebrews sounded like, or even if it was spoken at all. Pronunciation has less than nothing to do with the study and practice and the practical spiritual application of the Qabalah. Be proud of the fact that you are informed and honest enough to admit that you're not sure how the words are pronounced, and what's more, you don't even care. Such crass indifference is unbearable to those who would dare belittle the work of the chicken Kabbalists. That being said, it's always a good idea to remember, and this is Rabbi Lamed Ben Clifford's helpful hint number 1. Never correct another Kabbalist's pronunciation of Hebrew words, no matter how silly it sounds. First of all, they might be right. Secondly, your silence will make them think you're a highly intelligent person because you agree with them. And this is Rabbi Lamed Ben Clifford's helpful hint number 2. Better still, just don't talk with other Kabbalists. This is one of my favorites. I hear the Qabalah is based on the Bible. Do I have to believe in the Bible? Hell no, you're a chicken Kabbalist. Don't worry about it. You don't have to believe in anything. If the Bible leaves a bad taste in your mouth, well, welcome to the club. But before you throw old King James out the window, I'd like to point out that the Bible is holy. But so are the phone book, Webster's Dictionary, Robert's Rules of Order, and the menu at McDonald's. As you will learn from the 10 Command Rants, that's the next chapter, 10 Command Rants. Everything is holy, and anything is capable of being the vehicle of divine revelation. Key books of the Bible, however, were written by Kabbalists for Kabbalists, and so should be of particular interest to us. I know you're probably not thrilled about Bible study. Perhaps, like me, you've had unpleasant experiences with people who are convinced that the Bible teaches the most ridiculous and monstrous things. Well, now you can tell those spiritual bullies who try to terrorize you with the eternal agonies of hell that they can just go there. I'm going to share a little secret with you that only chicken Kabbalists and a few musicians have the courage and wit to handle. The people who wrote the Kabbalistic books of the Bible never intended them to be read by the public. There. I've said it. I feel so much better. Be honest with yourself. Deep in your heart, you've always known it was true, haven't you? How many times have you tried to wade into Genesis or Ezekiel and finally just gave up and said, what the hell are these guys talking about? Don't feel bad. You weren't meant to know what they're talking about, not unless you held vital interpretive keys. I know that sounds snobby and elitist, but it's the truth. These texts were crafted by mystics possessed of profound understanding of the universe and the mysteries of human existence. At a time when writing was reserved for priests and royalties, they used poetry and parables to express thoughts that everyday language could not accommodate. They assembled the phrases with great art from individual words that conveyed an even deeper level of truth. And finally, each word was made up of unique symbolic letters, each of which revealed yet another story, a story so profound and abstract it could only be told and understood in the pure language of numbers and mathematics. These sages were full-time holy guys, and they wrote this stuff for other full-time holy guys. And the tiny segment of every generation who would be equipped with the intelligence and the spiritual drive and the leisure time necessary to embark upon a lifelong quest for enlightenment. I assure you, these ancient mystics would have produced a radically different body of work had they, in their wildest nightmares, imagined that in some future dark age, their secret coded scriptures would be seized by half-witted and sadistic European cannibals and interpreted literally like some grotesque and racist history book. And the last question is, will the study of Qabalah make me a better person? No. You'll have to do that yourself. And that's the end of chapter 1. We'll move on to chapter 2 tomorrow, the 10 Command Rants. Print out and sign your card and wear it proudly concealed in your wallet. Until tomorrow, thank you guys very much for being with me every morning. I really need this. Okay. Continue to be good to yourself and be good to each other. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law. Love under will. We'll see you tomorrow.